With that in mind, sorry about that. I just got completely kicked out of the room. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. I can hear you now.
Okay. All right. So welcome, as I was saying, to another session of the Natural Remedies Kitchen, VeganTrition Cooking and Nutrition course. I am your host, Davina, and today we will be doing a 1 hour session, but we will be doing about 40 minutes on health principles. You will have the floor to ask questions as we go through different sections of the health principles. You'll be able to ask your questions as we go along. My colleague Charlene will join me a little bit later, and we will both be there to give you the support, the answers, and share all our knowledge and expertise with you. However, before we go in,
we're not hearing you.
Before we go into the lesson, we will have a little devotional by Jennifer. So at this time, we'll have Jennifer Moore, who will share with us a little word and a little word of prayer so we can get going. Thank you very much, Jennifer, for taking up this challenge.
You're welcome, my dear. God bless each and every one of us. Let us have a word of prayer before I begin reading. Heavenly Father, we are thankful to this evening or tonight, wherever everyone is, because of the time zone. And we praise your holy name because we were able to see a new day today. We thank you, Lord, as we are about to go into this devotion, this short devotion, that your spirit is here with us. So bless each and every one that is at the sound of my voice. In Jesus' name, amen. I'm going to read a little excerpt from the Councils on Diet and Foods, Health Reform, and the Third Angel's Message. And this little topic says, as the hand to the body. December 10th, 1871, I was again shown that the health reform is a branch of the great work which is to fit a people for the coming of the Lord. It is as closely connected with the third angel's message as the hand is with the body. The law of 10 commandments has been lightly regarded by man, but the Lord would not come to punish the transgressors of that law without first sending them a message of warning. The third angel proclaims that message. Had men ever been obedient to the law of 10 commandments, carrying out in their lives in the principles of those precepts, the curse of disease now flooding the world would not be. This second paragraph or second segment says, to prepare a people, men and women cannot violate natural law by indulging depraved appetite and lustful passions, and not violate the law of God. Therefore, he has permitted the light of health reform to shine upon us, that we may see our sin in violating the laws which he has established in our being. All our enjoyment or suffering may be traced to obedience or transgression of natural law. Our gracious Heavenly Father sees the deplorable condition of men who, some knowingly but many ignorantly, are living in violation of the laws that he has established. And in love and pity to the race, he causes the light to shine upon health reform. He publishes his law and the penalty that will follow transgression of it, that all may learn and be careful to live in harmony with natural law. He proclaims his law so distinctly and makes it so prominent that is like a city set on a hill. All accountable beings can understand it if they will. Idiots will not be responsible. To make plain natural law and urge the obedience of it, it is the work that accompanies the third angel's message to prepare a people for the coming of the Lord. Adam and Eve fell through intemperate appetite. Christ came and withstood the fiercest temptation of Satan, and in behalf of the race overcame appetite, showing that man may overcome. As Adam fell through appetite and lost blissful Eden, the children of Adam may through Christ overcome appetite and through temperance in all things regain Eden. Amen. Do you want me to go ahead a little longer, sister?
Thank you very much, Jennifer. Have we got any questions, any comments, any feedback on what Jennifer has just presented on? Anyone? Any questions? Any feedback? All right. Thank you very much, Jennifer. I will now go straight into our presentation. And tonight I'm going to ask you just to get your pen, your pens, and your paper to take some notes. So this will go in two formats. I will do the presentation on the health principles, and then afterwards you can ask your questions about that. You can make your feedbacks. After that, we will then discuss the menu for Sunday, and you can ask additional questions there on the menu for Sundays, especially if you can't get a particular ingredient. If there's like substitute, you can ask whatever questions you want about the menu afterwards. All right, so at this time, I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about the principles of health. Firstly, what is health? The World Health Organization, let me see if I can share my screen with you. So this health essentials, health, it's essential for happiness. This presentation has been prepared by Dr. Winston J. Craig, who you met at the last presentation, Professor Emeritus from Andrews University and Loma Linda. So this is his PowerPoint. I will just be going through some of the information from it. So according to the World Health Organization, health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely just the absence of diseases or infirmity. And I think that is actually a good definition coming from the World Health Organization. And when I say that, I mean in the light that it is a secular organization. I believe the definition is a good one. Now, what does Ellen White say? What is Ellen White's description of what is health? So here, health described by Ellen White. It's acquisition. Health is not dependent upon chance. That's the first thing. It's not dependent upon chance. It's not, you didn't get it by accident. You've got to work on it, right? Its value. It is more precious than gold. And don't we know that, especially as you start going up in age, you know how precious your health is. When you have someone walking and then their knees give way and they're on the ground, then you know how precious your health is. And I know because I've had that experience before. I'm in the middle of a teaching session and I get up to find myself on my back looking in, quite a few faces looking down on me, asking if I'm okay. I fainted and I didn't even know. So I know what it means when it says your health, it is more precious than gold. One of the richest blessings we can enjoy is good health. It is essential for our happiness. It's service orientation. It is required for efficiency. It is necessary for the highest use of our talents given by God for use in his service. So when we have poor health, we are really impacting the work of the Lord. We are not able to utilize our gifts and our talents as how the Lord would like us to. So it really impacts us and impacts God's work. All right, so what is health? The laws of health describe how best to be in sync with the natural flow and orderliness of God's creation. Health is the optimal and successful functioning of every system of the human body and mind, working in perfect harmony with every other part. Health is a lifestyle. Health is a lifestyle, a way of living rather than a possession. Hear that? Health is a lifestyle. It's a way of living rather than a possession. What are your views of what is good health? Anyone?
To be disease-free.
To be disease-free. All right. Anything else?
Healthy weight.
A healthy weight. Yes, yes, definitely. Anything else?
Pain-free.
Didn't get that.
Pain-free.
Pain-free. Oh boy, that one is a good one.
There's a phrase that says your health is your wealth.
Your health is indeed your wealth.
Yes, indeed. It means it not only financially, but physically and everywhere else, you know, that concerns you.
Yes, definitely.
A mobility.
Did you say mobility or ability?
No, mobility. To be able to move freely without pain
Okay.
and, yeah, mobility.
Yes. So, but as we see, well, I guess once you have health, it's easy to be happy, or it's easier to be happy once you have good health. Because if you don't have good health, everything is affected. It doesn't matter how much money you have. You don't have good health, you can't enjoy that money. Because what does it benefit you having money to lie down on a hospital bed and have someone taking care of you? That's not life. So health, good health, improves our quality of life. It also increases our quantity of life. So you have good quality of life and you have years added with it. Now there is happiness. Just imagine you living to see your third and fourth generation. Just imagine living to be over 100, you getting kids, you getting grandkids, you getting great grand, and even another generation, and you're not sick. You're in your good state of mind. You're in a good state of well-being. You're physically capable to run and go pick up those great grand from the nursery. You can go out playing tennis with them. You can go out playing football with your little great grandson. Yeah. Now that is good quality of life. You can go into the kitchen and still teach your grandchildren how to cook. You can pick up and go in your car and go to the gym on a Sunday morning and then meet your grandchildren or your great grandchildren for brunch. So health is indeed wealth. Without health, there is no joy, right? All right, so I will this is saying health is maintained and promoted by balance between the following. So we want to have a balance between our regular exercise, right? So what it's saying is don't go extreme or over the top, over the board on one end, and then not doing anything whatsoever on the other end. And we know with a lot of us, we will try the food, but we'll never attempt the exercise. We will definitely do the rest, but we won't drink the right amount of water. But it is a balance. To have good health, you need to maintain a balance between all the different laws of health. So we need to ensure that we're having our pure air, right? And the purest air is 45 minutes before sunrise in the morning. That's when you have the purest air. Are we still there?
That's true, Davina.
Okay, all right. Place just suddenly went very quiet. All right, so 45 minutes before sunrise, you have the purest air. So how can you utilize this, get some of this pure air? Schedule your exercise, right? So you want to have, let's say 30 to 45 minutes of exercise per day, moderate to intense exercise. You're walking, you can do a little calisthenics, you can do some aerobics, moderate to intense exercise, 30 to 45 minutes per day, or stretching. And no matter what sort of exercise you do, always stretch. And if you don't exercise, always stretch. All right. So you want to balance. You go out. How can you strike that balance between your exercise, drinking your water, the amount of water you need to drink for the day, eating a good diet, getting some sunshine as well, having a proper attitude even in relationships. How can you strike this balance? How can you get it all in? In fact, that's one of the first things we want to look at. How can you get it all in? So let's say if the purest air is at 45 minutes before sunrise, and you work in the city, so your day, the rest of your day is going to be spent in air that is really not fit for breathing in. But for the time being, that is your circumstances, right? One, you want to make some long-term plans to relocate, to leave the cities so you can be in an area where the air is purer. What can you do to enhance the air that you actually breathe in? So firstly, if the purest air is at 45 minutes before sunrise, try and go out and get your exercise in at that time. Go for your morning walk. Use that time as well when you're walking. Talk to the Lord as you're walking. You're doing your shuffling, you're doing you're doing little exercises as you go out for your walk, keeping the the heart pumping nicely. As you do that, communicate with the Lord, sing to the Lord, talk to him, put your trust in him. So you have one stone killing three birds there, even though we talk to the Lord continually throughout the whole day. But you're getting some pure air in, you're getting some exercise in at that time, right? You could even, depending on where you work, maybe you have a shower at work, you could do this on your way to work. But try and go out early morning and get some of that pure air in. lunchtime, you eat your lunch at work, go out for a 10 minutes walk in the sunshine. Leave your umbrella, right? Don't shade from the sun, but go out in the sunshine and go for your little 10 minutes walk after you have eaten, right? So there you're getting in a little bit more physical activity. Again, you're getting some more air. It may not be the purest air, but it's probably better than being locked up in an office, an air-conditioned office all day. All right, so you're going home now in the evening. Maybe you drive home because you work very far from work. But if you don't live too far from your home, you're going to the shops or walk from work to home. Walk to the supermarket instead of driving, whenever possible that you can walk, make it an event where you walk instead of drive. You have to drive, okay, so you drive to the supermarket. Try to park at the parking space that is furthest away from the supermarket door and not the closest to the supermarket door. So that's where you're getting in some more air, right? You're getting in air there, and you're also getting your exercise in. You're keeping active, you're keeping physically active, which is very important, right? In terms of having a good health, it is very important to keep physically active. So at times, you may think that some people, because they do a job that they walk around all day, they may say, oh, I don't need any exercise because I move around all day, I'm physically active. You need your exercise is different from your physical activity, right? Your exercise is structured, it's repetitive, it's intentional, and it should have a goal in mind, right? So your exercise is different from the rest of your physical activity. Now, your random moving about, like walking to the shop, cleaning up your house, just walking around your house, which let me stand up now while I teach you tonight. So me standing and keeping this position instead of sitting down is much physical activity, which we should all endeavor to do, right? Which we should all endeavor to do, to keep physically active. And this is different from your exercise and should not be counted as a part of your exercise, right? If you want to be physically fit for the rest of your life, that is, right? So now we need to try and have life in a balance, So we make sure we're getting in our air, make sure we're getting in our exercise, make sure we're keeping physically active. So that is your random movements that literally just burns energy, right? So for example, you have a phone call. Instead of sitting down to talk on the phone, walk around and talk on the phone. When you go to the supermarket, instead of pushing a trolley, carry a basket, carry 2 baskets. So you're keeping physically active, you're burning some energy. That way, that helps keep the metabolism going. It helps the system to really kick in and helps to keep physically fit. It helps to release toxins from the body. It helps to keep you alive, and it helps to sustain you, and it helps you to be younger for longer. You need to have a diet that is adequate in quality food and not the quantity of the food, right? So a lot of times we believe that we should eat a plate of food that looks like Mount Everest. And when you look at the Mount Everest, it's something like parboiled rice or white rice, right? That's not quality food. That will not make anyone healthy. You will find that your health will decline, and it will decline very quickly if you eat like that. So let us focus on the quality of the food, things like your chips, your snacks. These are not quality food. So when we talk about quality, what are some of the things that you think we're talking about when we talk about quality food? A diet that is adequate in good quality food. What do you think are some of the things that are quality food? Okay, so we're looking at things like our whole grains. So your brown rice, your quinoa, your amaranth, your legumes. And we'll teach you soon the difference between grains and legumes, because we know people oftentimes mix them up. So our grains are things like your rice and your flour. These are grains. And your legumes are things like your beans, like your red kidney beans or your gungo peas, your peas and your beans and your lentils. These are your legumes. And your grains are like your rice, your oats, your quinoa. Right. So you want to have, instead of white rice, you want to have brown rice or wild rice or red rice. You want to have the whole grain. You don't want to have food that has been bleached. You want to have food that is unbleached. You want to have the whole grain. Nothing should be removed from it. You don't want to have food that says enriched, because that's not good quality of food. You don't want to have something that is so processed you don't know what it is. It's been completely transformed, right? You want to have your food in its natural state. So that is quality food. Now, when we talk about quantity, sometimes when we talk about quantity, we have been taught to eat right around the clock. So as soon as we feel a little hunger, we have been taught to fill that gap with some food. But a lot of times we're not quite hungry. We are actually thirsty. And what we need is water and not food. And when we're thirsty and we don't maintain drinking our balance of water, then the brain gets tricked, believing that we're hungry. And then we go and we eat again, when really the body was not in need of food. So we tend to overburden the stomach. So ideally, we should be eating our meals 5 to 6 hours apart. So when you eat your breakfast, let's say you eat your breakfast at 8 o'clock, your next meal should be 5 hours from 8 o'clock. So that would be at 1 o'clock. Your next meal should be at 1 o'clock. Is that 5 hours from 8?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, all right, great. 1 o'clock. And then if by any chance you're a hard, heavy-duty construction worker, flinging bags of cement over your shoulder during the daytime, lifting up blocks and hauling steels on a construction site, or maybe you're an athlete training for the Olympic, then you will want to eat a third meal, and you would be well deserving of this third meal. Now it would need to be 5 to 6 hours later after that second meal that you had at 1 o'clock. That's the quantity that we're talking about. 2 to 3 meals per day maximum. So 2 is always better than 3. But for those who are heavy duty, hard physical workers, if a third meal is needed, you can have a third one. But in terms of quantity, let it also be a light one. Nothing big and heavy, not a plate that looks like Mount Everest, right? Not a plate that you need 2 persons to carry, but or 2 stomachs to carry. Just a small portion, and it must be something light that is also easily digested. So if you're going to have a third meal, you have to look seriously at the quantity and what exactly it is. So don't let your third meal, and if you're plant-based, I'm talking now, don't let your third meal be your bean stew, because that's going to need some time to digest before bedtime. But your third meal could be some crackers, something light. Maybe it could be a smoothie. something easily digested, a fruit. All right, so anything more on what do you think? What are your opinions on a diet adequate in quality and quantity? What strikes you when you hear that statement? Or is there any other point that has come to your mind that I may not have covered in terms of quality and quantity? Welcome, Sonia. See, you have joined in. Sonia is supposed to be our presenter for tonight, but she has had some electrical issues. So, once you have no electricity, you also have no internet. And this can be very frustrating when you live in the beautiful island of the Caribbean. Yes, you do get the sunshine, you do get the beauty and the relaxing environment, but we have to deal with these issues of not having light sometimes.
Yeah, Davinia, when we talk about quality, if you're eating fruit, because I was told that not too many fruits because of the sugar in it. So is it to be mindful of the amount of fruit, even though it might be a healthier choice, it's still that it's got sugars in it?
Well, not sure in what context.
If I'm eating cherries and apples okay, but bananas, say if I wanted that for my lunch or a snack, or you said no snacking in it.
Yeah.
But I think the transition of going to a healthy diet is difficult if you're used to grazing all day. So to be sustaining your appetite, are you saying no snacking at all, just every 5 hours?
Yeah, absolutely no snacking. Why do you need to snack?
But if you
drink water,
you get hungry. If you're a man, you work and you get hungry and you're flinging cement and sand and you're carrying a heavy bag. I'm just saying, are you saying no snacking at all, not even a banana?
no
snacking.
No. The thing is, when you eat a full meal, a satisfying meal.
Yes.
And once you've eaten a satisfying meal, then your stomach takes about 5 to 6 hours to digest that meal. So you should not add any more food to it. What happens when you start eating again? The stomach stops digesting what is in there and start to digest the food that is now coming in. So the food that is started digesting sits on your stomach and then decides to rot. It begins to rot or ferment. And then you have more food added to this fermented food, and you see why you get stomach problems.
Yeah.
So you eat a full meal, a balanced meal with your carbohydrates, your protein, your healthy fats, and your fruit or your vegetable. If you're going to have a fruit meal, eat as much fruits as you can. If you're a sedentary worker, you don't need much carbohydrates with that meal, because that meal itself has carbohydrates in it.
Yeah.
It will have fat in it because your fruits have a certain amount of fat, carbohydrates, and protein. So even if you have a fruit meal, you will get a balanced meal.
Okay.
If you are as you said, a construction worker, then you would need to add some carbohydrates to that. So you can have a bowl of cereal or some grains, and you have that, and you have a full meal. At the end of the meal, you can have a handful of nuts, because the fat does not digest with the other meals. So that will keep you satiated for a long period of time to digest. So in between your meals, you drink water. And you will find that sometimes when you think you are hungry, you're not really hungry. Your body's just crying out for water. And you add food to the body, which complicates the digestive system. So between meals, you drink water, and if you do that, you will realize that once you've eaten a full meal, you are not hungry, you are thirsty. And if you try to drink water at least every hour, you will have a better day.
Okay.
And you would not be snacking, because then your body's hydrated and you're getting the nutrients that you need from your food.
Thank you. So it's retraining your eating habits, then retraining how you. I think one of the issues I find having children, because at school they have They always have afters with their meal, and it's the bad training from growing up, I think, as well, that everybody wants a pudding after or something afterwards. Just cutting out those little habits as well.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
When you learn the right thing, you try and ask God and help you to make the right decisions and the right choices, and He will. Many of us were like you, but we had to make that change because we know what was required for good health and good digestion.
Yes. So, you know, when we do that, we keep burdening the stomach, then we develop a feeble stomach. And then as a result, you have a feeble stomach and you keep packing food on it, you break it down even more. And then when you are repaired, sometimes you find out that you can't eat this, you can't eat that, you can't eat this with this because the stomach has been so badly abused that now, even though you may be on a better pathway, there's so much scar tissue basically, you know, that it's no longer operating as it could have, you know, at its optimum performance. So we don't want to enfeeble the stomach. As Sister Charlene said, once you receive light, you pray. I went into much prayer and fasting to ask God for a lot of help, because I tell you, what I considered my breakfast used to be when I sat down with my curry goat with fried dumpling for breakfast. But before that, I would have had McDonald's wrap, but I never considered that my breakfast. And I would have also had maybe half a jerk chicken already. Never considered that my breakfast, because that one I eat while I was driving. So that not even counted as food, because that was just jerk chicken in foil paper with hot pepper sauce. And that's just taken in. And when I finish my rounds in the morning and I sit down at a table with some curry goat and some fried dumpling and some kalaloo or cabbage on the side and my pot of coffee, now I'm having my breakfast, in my opinion. And then after that, I'm right throughout. I'm tasting this and I'm tasting that, and a nice fruit come and I'm having that too. And I'm having a smoothie as well. And then now lunchtime is when I sit down. So I used to really pressure that stomach of mine. But I had to pray. One of the things I had to pray about, firstly, I had to ask him to cut down the size of my food. When I sit down as well, you know, and you see that mountain of food I had, you know, that's a proper Caribbean plate of food, you know. You would think I was a construction worker. You just see the amount of food I used to eat. I never ramped with my food, a big mountain of food, a whole heap of food. And that's when I sit down, because I only counted the sit down meals. I never counted the ones between as food. That's just snack. I just snack, I guess it is. And then in my bag or in my pocket, I always had the shortbread cookies. I'm telling you, I give God thanks I'm even alive today. I always had the shortbread cookies. And I'm sitting at my desk around the computer. I'm just snacking on the shortbread cookie. I'm just eating them. And I'm just eating them until the next time when I'm sitting down for a proper meal. And yeah, man, proper foodie, right? So the Lord delivered me. Trust me, He can deliver you. He can deliver anybody. Because I was in a real state. I was just eating a buffet, all day buffet. I just had one meal for the day from my wake until sleeping time. And I used to go to my bed with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, right? So as I get home and I shower, I make myself a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and I take it up with me. And to be honest, a lot of times I never get to drink it. One night even I sleep and I fling my hand, because I used to sleep so bad because I'm so busy in my sleep, you know? I'm running, I'm exercising, I'm doing everything in my sleep. Car running me down. I'm falling off a tall building. I'm answering the phone at work just the same. You can hear me talking. That's I was constantly busy in my sleep. I wake up in the morning, I'm completely tired. I knock over anything that is near the bed. I kick it off. You couldn't sleep with me. I would fight you in my sleep.
And it's all down to diet.
It's all down to
Yes.
diet.
Yes.
Yes. I'm always being run down by a big red cow.
Wow.
Yes, this is all down to diet. It's all down to diet. But when you start eating 2 meals per day, you will see, and you don't eat between meals, all of this will change.
Okay, so I've got a question then, because I was told that when you cut back on your eating, your body thinks it's going into like a bit like fast, it's going into starvation, and then it holds on to the fat. It holds on to the food because it thinks no more's coming. Is that false or true?
Charlene, do you want to answer that one?
I didn't hear that clearly.
Okay. I was told that when you cut back on the amount that you're eating, the body thinks it's going into starvation, a bit like fasting. So everything you do eat, it holds onto it because it's like survival. So it holds onto the food and the fat. When you cut back on your eating and your metabolical system
Metabolism?
slows down. Yeah, slows down. Yeah.
You
never heard that?
No.
Have you heard that, Lavinia?
Yes.
I have.
Yes, I'm aware of what you're talking about. All right,
Yeah.
so let me see how I can answer that now. If, for example, when you skip breakfast, you don't lose weight. Your body will hold on to the food because it is thinks that you're going into starvation. So it's holding on to the fat to use up, right? To give you energy. What we are talking about here is not to skip meals, but it is to have balanced diet. And you're not reducing your portion where you're going to starve yourself. We don't want you to starve yourself. You're going to eat and be full. You're going to eat and merry. You're going to eat and be merry. You're going to eat and be full. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to overeat. You don't need a truck to haul you, or you shouldn't eat until they need to put you in a wheelbarrow to wheelbarrow you out of a building, right? You eat until you're full and you stop. Don't pack the belly like when you're going to Jamaica on a holiday and you need to get everything in the suitcase, including the blender.
You're too funny.
Don't pack the stomach like that. Don't overdo it. So what we're saying is eat your meals. So eat 2 meals. If you're a sedentary worker or a brain worker, so people like doctors, students, teachers, you're sitting down at the computer desk all day. You don't need 3 full meals for the day, right? You need 2 meals for the day. Is better for your body than 3 meals. You will find that your health is improved with 2 meals. Your brain is sharper. Your memory is much improved. Everything goes up. The amount of meals that you take is less than what you used to take before, but your performance in every area is improved. Now, these 2 meals must be quality meals and not quantity. So you don't go and take a massive plate of white rice. You cut white rice out altogether, put that to bin, and you take a serving of brown rice. Because the whole grain rice, because it has all the fiber and everything on it, it is going to take longer to break down. So it is going to even hold you for longer. Once you're eating nutrient-dense food, it's going to hold you for longer. When you're eating food that is refined, you need a whole lot of it. Because the white rice, the bleached white rice, and the bleached white flour, and the bleached stuff, the processed refined foods, this is what, let me see if I can show you what it is. So this is a grain. It has this part, It has this wrapped around it. I don't know if you're seeing what I'm doing. And it has this around it as well. So it has 3 parts. This is it, right? If I should eat all of these 3 parts, it will take me a much longer time to eat this. And it will also hold me for much longer in my stomach than if I take this part off. And then 2, I take all of this off and throw it in the bin. And then I have only this left. It's going to take me a much shorter time to eat this. And this is going to be in my stomach for a much shorter time than if I had all of this in my stomach. You get what I'm saying? So the refined food is stripped of all the fiber and all the nutrition. So this is the nutrition here. This is removed from the food and get thrown to the bin. Get the pigs and the horses get that as they're feeding. And then I get this fine looking white shiny rice and white fluffy shiny flour, right? This is what I get when it is refined. And it looks, it's more presentable aesthetically. And in terms of taste, it may be more palatable as well. But I'm not getting anything from this in terms of nutrition. So I'm eating this. And if I eat 1 grain of white rice, and then I eat, and my colleague Charlene eats 1 grain of brown rice, in half an hour, I will need another grain of brown rice, of white rice. But it will take Charlene maybe 2 hours before she will need another grain of brown rice. So this white rice, it's going to come out of me faster because there is nothing on it for my body to break down. There's nothing on it for my body to absorb. It's just protein and carbohydrate. So as soon as it goes in my mouth, the carbohydrate firstly, it starts digesting from it, hits my mouth. And as soon as the protein goes down, bam, it's gone. This one that Charlene is eating, she has all the carbohydrate that I have. She has all the protein that I have. She has all the vitamin B that I don't have. She has all the vitamin A that I don't have. She has all the minerals, all the trace minerals that I don't have. So her body has a lot more nutrient in it to sort out. So the body's got to, okay, I'm going to send some vitamin A up here to the eye. The body's busy. It is busy still dealing with Charlene's food when mine is finished. And I've peed out that protein. Long time my kidney filtered that and I've peed it out. And I'm looking for more food. So as a result, when I'm sharing my plate of white rice,
Davina,
when I'm sharing my plate.
Sonia has her hand up when you're finished.
Okay, all right. When I'm sharing my plate of white rice, I need a big plate of white rice because I need a lot of this to keep me as long as Charlene's little small plate is going to keep her. Go ahead, Sonia.
Hi, good evening. Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback on what you've just said about the nutrients, but in response directly to Shirley's question about the body holding on to
Fat.
fat. Yeah, once we embark on what we call yo-yo diet, once the dieting, the body goes, you put the body in the stress without dieting. So for example, you cut out all carbs, or could it be just the protein, whatever it is, whatever diet that you're on. So the moment you start eating again, the body said, right, there's more food. And once the body thinks, okay, there's another diet coming on, then the body tries then to hold on to the fat. So yes, I've heard it before, it does happen, but that's when the body is going through these yo-yo, when we put our bodies through stress. But that's the stress we put our bodies through. Having this yo-yo dieting. We're dieting every 6 months, every 2 months. We jump on the fat diet. Yeah, and put our body through stress. But by eating this way, and exactly what Davina just explained, when the body getting all the nutrients or the phytonutrients or the vitamins and minerals and all that it needs, it then balances out itself and realize, oh, we're not under starvation here. We don't have to hold on to the excess fat, thinking we're going to, we're not going to get any food. We're not sure how we're going to get any food again. So then of course, all the organs now start receiving all the different messages, from different parts, and they're actually working at their best, carrying out their functions. And then, of course, the weight naturally drops off. That's why, when we have clients who said, oh, I want to lose weight, we want to look at how the person is eating and to support the person, the individual, because the weight is secondary. The weight is going to come off anyway once we give the body all the nutrients that it requires. I just want to add that little bit.
Right, because you're eating nutrient-dense foods, so your body will process it at a slower pace. You will not get hungry that quickly.
That's right. So you just have to hold on to it, thinking starvation is coming. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm glad that Sonia the nutritionist, was able to clear that up for us. The dieting aspect. Now, we were talking about finding a balance in life, right? Ensuring that we have a balance to maintain and promote good health. So you want to ensure you're getting your exercise in daily. You want to ensure you're getting in your sufficient amount of water in your diet daily. And as Charlene has explained, if you're not drinking sufficient water, then you're gonna feel like you need the food to fill that gap, but it won't be hydrated enough. Getting in your exercise, your good nutrition, so quality of food over quantity. Exercise we already spoke about. Rest and relaxation. That is something that is, yes.
So, and when you say a lot of water, because I know there's different quality of water, because I was realizing I was drinking a lot of water and I was getting very dry lips. And then somebody had told me that the water, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the name brand, it had high sodium in it. So now I realize you need to look at the contents of the water that you're actually drinking as well. So I was drinking, but my lips were still cracking up. So quality of water is important as well.
Quality of water. Anybody wants to comment on that? Sister Sonia?
Like Kirkland got 8% sodium, whereas this High Spring has 5.6.
Right.
Yes, that's true.
Yes,
some water has.
Yes. Quite right in drinking water, but we want to make sure that the water is so it's not having the 8 point this and the 9 point that, because those are classified as alkaline water. And so we want to keep the waters close near pH of the blood.
Mm-hmm.
So,
the Highland is 7.8.
Pardon?
Highland Springs is 7.8 on their bottle.
Yeah. Yeah, so we want to have it close to, the 7, or even I've seen 6.5. I think it was the ACBAC. I don't remember what the yes, I think the supermarket in England sells that one. I think it was 6.5. That's like below. But yeah, we want to have the water pH near to the blood.
7.
Near to the blood. Because a lot of people, they drink alkaline water, but drinking alkaline water all the time is not the best water to have.
Exactly.
Balance again.
Balance.
Yes.
You need the balance.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Must balance it up.
And you know what? Sometimes we put ourselves in expense and out of the way to be having alkaline water. Christ just drank. Where did Christ get water from?
Well,
I wonder if that was alkaline.
and another thing I just quickly say about the alkaline water. I've known individuals who a sister may have the machine, and she invites the church brethren to come and to fill their bottles. And when they fill that bottle, if you're not drinking the water within in a short period of time, like about a couple of hours, it's no more alkaline.
True.
Yes.
So I tell you, don't stress yourself.
No.
Don't get yourself so worked up over these things. Important thing is Don't try to drown yourself with the water. So have your water throughout the day and don't wait. Because I know a lot of times, okay, it comes to the end of the day and look, I carry 2 liters of water to work with me and I still have 1.5 left. So, so we try to get the other 1.5 down in one go. And I know because I have been there and I've done that. And I've had my fair share of water exercises of trying to drink too much in one go to meet the quota, so to speak. That is a wrong approach. Try as you start your morning, start drinking your water and try getting it in between the meals. So you've got to be determined like Daniel in your approach for you to be successful. You've got to say to yourself, okay, I'm going to have my breakfast an hour or 2 hours after my breakfast. I'm going to start drinking my water. You can sip your water if you want. I ain't sipping my water. I don't know nobody that sip water. Jesus asked for a drink of water. I drink my water. I drink a glass at a time. I just don't drown myself with water, right? So I drink a glass at a time. I'm walking around sipping water all day. I'm drinking every hour or so. I drink a glass of water. Or if you want to sip your water, whatever it is, but drink the water throughout the day. Like by the end of the day, when I was put on my program back in 2017, I was told no water after 7 p.m. All my water I need to get in my system between 7 and 7. After that, I should be drinking no more water. So when you go to your bed, you shouldn't be needing to carry a bottle with you to see if you can finish catching up on the water that you should have had during the day. So drink your water during the day and just try to do that. And if you can sip your water and you getting in your required amount for your body weight in and you're comfortable with sipping, fine, do that. If you can take a glass per hour or half a glass per hour, do that. But just get all your water in throughout the day and space it. Because remember, you have your meals. And when you eat your meals, you should not be drinking immediately before or immediately after your meals. You shouldn't be doing that because then you're going to dissolve your digestive juices. And once you dissolve your digestive juices, it means that you will now cause fermentation to start in the stomach. It means your food will take longer to digest and it will be harder for the body to break the food down. Because if you had, what do you call that drink now? Them something like syrup, can't remember what they call. You have a juice and it's concentrated. Once you put water in it, you're diluting it, so it is not as strong. It's the same thing with the stomach acid. When you put the water in it, the liquid, it is not as strong anymore. So if you need 50% of acid to break down, let's say 1 green banana, if you put water in that and that is now diluted to, let's say, 30%, then it's obviously going to take much longer to break down that banana. But the thing now is the banana may start rotting now before it finishes the extended process, because that is how it is as well. It will break down once it is exposed to, it comes out of the skin, it starts rotting. So drink your water.
Yeah. So Davinia, outside of just water, is there anything else you can drink? I mean, like carrot juice with that, just the carrot juice, is that too sweet? Or the sea moss that we spoke about the other day, is that an alternative that you can drink, or would you see that like a meal?
That's a meal. That's a food because the stomach have to break it down. Okay. So if you want to drink, once your stomach is going to have to do some digestion, you have to consider it a meal. So if you want to drink your carrot juice or your sea moss, you may be a sedentary worker, but that could be a third meal if you need to have a third meal. Your juice, you get 3 carrots and 2 carrots and you put them through the blender or juicer or whatever it is, and you get the juice, and your third meal is something light and easy, because as a juice, it won't take, as long as it's pure and you've not stretched it out with water, then it shouldn't take too long to digest.
Yeah, but
Are
it's definitely a meal. It wouldn't be like you have to use it as a meal. That's basically it, yeah?
Yeah, it is a meal. It is a meal. So what you do, if you want to have that for lunch, then make sure that whatever else is going with it, you have enough full and proper satisfying lunch. Don't short yourself. Don't short yourself with your meals. So, if you're going to have that for lunch or if you're going to have that for breakfast, make sure that you're filled, right? So I have fruits for breakfast. And I was supposed to come back to that question about don't have too much fruits because of the sugar.
Yeah.
I think there is a certain thing that we need to understand. One, Ellen White said we should have an abundance of fruits. I don't know where in abundance that equals to 3. When I have an abundance of fruits, I have an abundance of fruits. And I can tell you, I've overcome diabetes on a diet with an abundance of fruits. But I also overcame diabetes on a diet that is very low in, I don't have, my carb is from my fruit. Most of my carb is from my fruit. I don't know if you understand that. So for my breakfast, I had 2 meals per day. My breakfast is an abundance of fruits. And when I say abundance, I mean abundance of fruits. I have a big plate of fruits. And I have nuts and I have seeds. And I will have maybe some soya milk, right? Yes, because I used to have a glass of soya milk per day. And I overcame my diabetes with that. But that's my breakfast. My dinner was something like a massive vegetable salad, equivalent to the amount of fruits I just ate, that amount of vegetable salad. And I fill up. I eat that first, and I'm filled up with that because that comes with my seeds as well. It comes with my avocado. So it comes with all my good fats, right? So I'm filled up on that. And if I have any space left, then I eat my beans and my grains. So the rest of the food that I'm eating after my salad is a small amount. It's not a lot. And that knocked out the diabetes with some herbs, boy, that Brother Benjamin gave me. Knocked it out completely. And that's how I help my clients now with their diabetes on that program. And I'm telling you, it works as long as you are disciplined enough to stick to it and to follow it. It works like wow. And you do your little walking before you eat. So once you're diabetic, you go for a little walk before you eat. And obviously after you eat as well, you go for your digestive walk. So I know sometimes life is not always made up like that where I can go for a walk every 5 minutes because I don't have a helper that cleans up after I finish eating. But what I do sometimes, okay, so I'll try and see if you can get the walk in before. But afterwards, you eat, don't sit down because that is where a lot of our problem comes in. After we eat, we tend to want to sit down, but no, get up right away. As soon as you start feeling like, oh, I just want to sit a little bit longer, fight yourself and get right up. Go to the kitchen, wash up all of them plates. While you're washing them, keep moving your feet. Start tidying up your house, put the things together and just keep moving. And just keep that in mind that right now, you're supposed to keep your legs moving. So if you wear a stepwatch, right? If you buy a stepwatch and you wear a stepwatch, that will help you to keep track of your steps. Just keep telling yourself, no, I've got to cover, I've got to keep moving. I've got to do the next 10 minutes of movements. And your watch must record it as a step, which means you've got to lift your feet off the ground. Because if you test that thing, it doesn't count everything as a step. So if you're not stepping properly, it doesn't count it as a step, right? Right. So your feet has got to lift a certain level off the ground for it to count it as a step. So get your stepwatch and just keep that in the back of your head. Right now is movement time. So even though I'm washing up the dishes, I'm washing up and I'm moving. So like now I'm talking to you. You can see, I don't know if you can see me. Can you see me? Let me see. Can you see me?
Yes, you're fidgeting, you're moving up and down. Yeah.
Exactly. So this is something I started practicing from 2017 to keep moving. 2017? Yes, 2017, because that's when I did, in my course, that's when I did a module on exercise, you know, and physical fitness. And from I learned that August 2017, I haven't stopped moving. So I go to work, and I am in the kitchen, and I'm cutting, and I am moving. I just keep moving. I just keep moving, right? If you are having a meeting at work and you can stand. Sometimes I go to church, and you know, church is one of the places where we practice the most unhealthiest, we exercise the most unhealthiest habits. We sit all day at church, and if we're there from in the morning and we have potluck, and then we're there for the afternoon service, we sit down for the whole day. That is such a bad thing. We don't exercise on Sabbath because we're too holy, or we think exercise is a sin on Sabbath, you know. But listen, you go out for your stretches. You go out Sabbath morning early in that fresh air, alone in the garden with Jesus, and you are stretching and you're talking to him and you're getting the fresh air first thing in the morning on a Sabbath. You are so revitalized and you are so energized for church. When you go to church, your brain is so sharp. You don't feel sleepy in church. Next thing, if you can stand at the back and listen. I stand at the back of my church sometimes and I'm just going like this. I just keep moving, you know, if you can. You don't have to, right? Because there's a time and place for everything. You're a divine hour pastor gonna preach, sit down and don't distract him. But song service going on, we don't need to sit down for song service. We should all stand up with the people singing, the praise team, and sing. But we spend the whole day sitting, and it's like when they say stand, it's like we still want to sit. Even when they tell us to stand, we still want to sit. We don't want to stand. We have to. It is better for our health. Stand and just keep moving. We should really only sit when the pastor is ready to preach. We don't need to sit down all day long in church. And then we sit down all day and then we go to a potluck and you have everything from grandma's favorite to the baby food and we eat everything. Everybody plates is a buffet. So we break all the laws of health on the blessed holy day. And you leave church and somebody says, so what was service about today? And you have to think hard to remember. You don't even know what it was about, that you were there all day. So balance in life. Balance is important in every aspect. So we need to keep physically active. And oftentimes we underestimate the powerfulness of exercise and physical activity. You know, I believe it is the World Health Organization. No, it's the American Cancer Society. It says to be physically fit for the rest of your life, you need to sit no more than 3 hours for the day. 3 hours for the day. And if you see the charts and the statistics showing, if you sit, let's say, picture your life. How do you spend your day? You get up, you've got 24 hours in the day. You sleep about 8 hours, right? So we have about 16 hours left to play with. How do we use the 16 hours? We work for 8 hours. So 16 awake hours, we go to work for 8 hours and we sit down around a computer for 8 hours or 7 out of the 8 hours. Because let's say between going up the stairs or taking the lift or going to the toilet, let's say you use an hour standing. Then you go home, you jump in your car and you sit down and you drive home. Or if you take the bus, you sit down. As soon as we go on the train, we start looking for a seat. We don't want to stand. Then you sit down on your way home, you get home. You may stand for a couple of hours in the kitchen to prepare something. That is if you did not stop at the takeaway and buy some pizza in a box that you're going to sit in front of the television and eat. You eat in front of the TV and then you slide the box underneath the sofa. and you fall asleep in the sofa. Then you get up and you have a quick shower and you go to bed and you sleep for your 7 to 8 hours. And you get up in the morning and the cycle begins again. You're sitting down for most of the day. And there is what we call the World Health Organization calls the sitting disease that people are actually dying from, because sitting is actually the 4th leading cause of death in the whole wide world. Yet it goes unnoticed. It goes on, 4th leading cause of death in the world, yet it goes unnoticed. Right? So we tend to be too inactive. And if we want to live, we've got to stay physically active. That is why God put Adam and Eve in a garden and gave them work to do, to help them to keep those 600 plus muscles physically active. All right. Every time we sit, this is how the body works, right? We have over 600 muscles in the body. And every time we sit down, they die a little bit. Every time we sit down, they die a little bit. So just imagine sitting all day. They're dying a lot. And that is why our lives are cut so short. And then we find ourselves getting arthritis. Can't go up a staircase. Can't step down too hard. Bones becoming brittle. Osteoporosis setting in from an early age because we're too sedentary. And what you will find is the little farmer out there who is tying out his goat, working in his field all day. He's living to 100. He may look scruffy and smell like goat wee, but he's living a long time. You see him running after the goats, and you said that man not supposed to be about 90 something, but he's still running down goat. Him not wearing glasses. Because he's spending a lot of time in the outdoors, in the fresh air, and he's also keeping physically active. I don't know if that nails anything home.
Yeah, because I think this lifestyle over here, especially if you're doing office work, it's good if you're a nurse or another job where you can be moving up and down. But when you're doing an office job, you're basically, like you said, you have to change things up, innit? You got to stand up if you can. Nowadays, they've got the desk that rises up. So your
exactly a standing desk.
Yeah. So you can actually stand up. And you actually burning calories when you stand up, are you? Something's happening?
Yes. So I have a standing desk too. I'm using my one of my kitchen counters now, but I do have a standing desk that I also bought back then from 2017. So yes, you still do, when you exercise, when you have a life of exercise, it kicks in the metabolism that even when you're sleeping, you're still burning calories in your sleep. Yeah. And that's how you find, that's what helps you to put back your thyroid in order so your body can start losing weight. Obviously, you also need to balance that out with good nutrition. Right. So, you need to have good nutrition, which is good quality food, and, not over indulging anything.
Yeah.
And
but before I forget, I remember the time I did that melon with the other fruits, and you said to me that's the wrong combination. Melon shouldn't go with other fruits, you said.
Okay. So, there are a couple of fruits. They always say melon alone or leave it alone, right? It's just like a general little guideline. But there are a couple of fruits that melon can actually go with. And you're talking about things like grapes. Those are the fruits that have a high water content that you can go with. But you probably wouldn't want to have your melons with your ripe banana.
Or apples.
Yeah, so as I said, the grapes, the berries, it's compatible. It's actually compatible with those. And then the other thing as well about melon is that the sugar content, you may not taste it, you may not feel it, believe it or not, in terms of glycemic index, it is one of the highest fruits on the glycemic index. So
Wow.
that's one of the other reasons why that saying has gone about, you know, melon alone or leave it alone, because you do pack, it does pack a lot of sugar in that little piece of melon.
Okay.
And then, yeah, because it looks like, because it has so much water, we can, I mean, I don't think we sit down and eat up a whole melon, but you can eat a lot of it. And if you're eating other fruits with sugar and stuff like that, you know, you could get a lot in a short space of time, and you could spike your blood sugar, especially if you're like a borderline diabetic. But then when you're on the diet that I've just told you, a lifestyle that I've just told you, where you're having fruits for breakfast, nuts and seeds, your plant-based milk, and then your dinner, you're having a massive vegetable salad. And I keep saying massive because I don't want you to underestimate the size vegetable salad that I'm talking about, right? When I make my salad and I put it on the table, they're thinking, oh, that is salad for everybody. I'm like, no, that is not salad for everybody. That is my salad. Right? That is not to share.
There's no limit, sorry, Divin, there's no limit to the size of the salad that you can eat. Because is it that there's no calories in the salad? Why you can eat a large one?
I don't count calories.
Okay. All right. Is it because it's nutritional then? Why you can eat a big salad and it takes up most of the space in your stomach than eating carbs?
Because I'm eating my salad to fill me up. That is my main course. My main course is my salad, and the rest of my food is my side.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm eating a salad where if I want, I can eat just the salad alone and I will be filled. I don't need to eat anything more. But I'm saving, you know, like how we save space for a dessert. I save a little space on my beans and my grains. So I eat my salad for nutrition. So what happens now is when I'm finished eating, my body is packed with nutrient because I've just eaten a whole head of lettuce, a piece of cucumber, a whole red onion. Between my salad and my salad dressing, I've just eaten a whole onion. I've had some spring onion. I've had some parsley. You know, I've had some leaves. I've had some tomatoes. I've had some peppers. I've had some nutrient-dense, rich antioxidant food that is rich in phytochemicals. I've just had pure, holy 100% nutrition just gone down in the stomach. So I don't worry, I'm going to eat some beans now. And that is going to be my tasty bit. Now I'm just going to enjoy. This is not for my taste buds. I'm sure my body getting nutrition as well still from the beans. And when I'm finished eating, I'm full. I'm full. But I'm light like a feather. I feel like I could jump and touch the roof. I've got energy. I don't feel like you know, I need a wheelbarrow. I'm full, but I'm still filled with energy and I'm light. I get on with work. You know, I don't need a bed. I don't need to go hide away in the toilet and sleep. But you get that effect when you eat your raw food first. But when you're dozing on the cooked food, you're going to be sleepy after you eat. If you're just eating a lot of cooked food, your body's gonna be sluggish. You're gonna just slow down. The metabolism is gonna slow down. Everything in the body is gonna slow down. You've got to eat your raw first, and you've got to make the raw 60 to 70% of your entire diet. So my breakfast is ideally typically almost 100% raw. So my plant-based milk. When I say plant-based milk, maybe I have a glass of milk. Maybe I'll turn that milk into a cheesecake. And that will come with my nuts at the same time as well as my milk. So when we say plant-based milk, we're taking it for granted that your plant-based milk is made from beans. So your soya milk or another bean milk, right? Because that's so according to research, we need to be having 3 servings of beans per day for perfect nutrition, right? 3 servings of beans. So try and get 1 serving in from a glass of milk. If you have a glass of soya milk, that's 1 serving Remember, you can have another bean can use to make milk. Chickpeas can make milk. Lentil can make milk. White bean makes a good milk as well, right? So you have a glass of milk, glass of beans, that's 1 serving of your milk. Then you have dinner time. Let's see now how you get your other beans in. You use some beans in your salad dressing, right? So you make a salad dressing for your big plate of salad, and you probably throw some beans in it or something like that. Or you make a big salad and you can have some beans in your salad. Or after you finish eating your salad, you will have some nice, let's say, some frittata. You have a nice slice of frittata. Frittata is made from chickpea flour, right? So, or you make a vegan omelet, which you can make from, again, your chickpeas, or you can make it from tofu, but you get your beans in. We should have, so that's at least 2 serving of beans right there you can get in for the day. And worst case scenario, get at least 1 serving of beans in for the day. That's worst case scenario. But beans, in terms of nutrition, is something we need to have in our diet every single day, unless obviously if you're fasting.
So can you just open a tin of the tinned beans and just use it that way?
Well, I was a convenient girl, and I just used to open up my tin beans. But the truth is, you get additional stuff when you get the tin stuff.
So when you soak it overnight, or you get normal beans and you soak them, you boil them, and then you just use it as an accompaniment towards the salad, like you said, just throw it in. So
you can do that, or you could prepare your beans. You could use some beans to make cheesecake. And these are some of the things you will learn on this course. You use your beans to make a cheesecake. So you can have your salad, you can have your cheesecake. You can use your beans to make, Sonia, Shirley, help me out. What are some of the things we use our beans to make?
Sorry, I'm doing something else. Beans you can make, milk, hummus.
Yes, your hummus.
Your hummus is nice. Is hummus fattening though? Is hummus okay to eat a lot of? Because that's quite nice with dip with celery sticks.
It's lovely. Enjoy your hummus.
Yes. And hummus is not fattening.
And that would be a meal again. No, that's not a snack. That's a meal. Or you can put it with your main meal.
You can put it with your main meal.
All right. So we don't have starters, main and afters. No starters.
You can use it with your breads, your crackers, your
salads.
Your salads.
Make some falafels to go with your salad and your hummus.
Yeah, even falafel, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Davinia, is it possible? Are you doing handouts, or are we just to continue to write notes? Because
you have to take notes.
No,
I am taking notes, but it's a lot to remember. And when you're changing, sometimes
I'm gonna send. We have.
You're gonna have the recording.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying, taking notes and trying to look what's on the screen and write it down. It's not.
Yeah, I'm
as
gonna
easy to have
share.
a mini handout. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna share. I'm gonna share. I'm gonna share a handout.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna be that PowerPoint because I can't give that PowerPoint.
That's
but
okay.
This handout, Health Principles for Longevity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Yeah.
We'll share, and when we have the little recipe book ready, we'll stick this in the back as well.
Right, and then one of the other things, I think it was Diet and Council, or I think it's that one I read in it, where Ellen G. White was saying you only should have 3 different things on your plate, because otherwise your stomach is in competition to digest the different things. Is that something that is wise? Just 3 different items on the plate?
Not necessarily items, but in terms of combination, you don't want to have so let's say you have different food groups then, so to speak. If you have, let's say you have some strawberries, you have some fruits, right? So you have an abundance of fruits. You don't want to now go and have some abundance of vegetables at the same time. And then an abundance of grains at the same time. And an abundance of legumes at the same time, right? So, but let's say I'm having legumes. and I'm having some black bean, and I'm having some chickpeas, and I'm having some lentils. This is all from the same food group. So in terms of digestion, my body is going to be producing the acid to break down the proteins, right? What I don't want to have now is, all right, so I'm having now a bunch of mangoes, and I'm having from this food group, I'm having mangoes, I'm having apples, I'm having my strawberries, I'm having my ripe banana, I'm having a nice glass of smoothie as well, with my beans, right? And then along with that, now I'm gonna have my green juice, you know, my lettuce, my cucumber, my tomato, and then I'm gonna have you know, my grains as well. So you sort of gone all over the place there. You understand? So if you're gonna have from three groups, then 3 food groups, but I'm gonna have some meat, some beans, some rice, some fruit salad, some vegetable salad, and whatever else you can find. You know, and that's why, you know, buffets on Sabbath is, while it may be convenient, we need to really control ourselves. Yeah, because what are you gonna, how are you gonna ever have 3 items? Because when you cook you make a burger, you don't only put beans in it, you have to put something else to bind it.
No, I don't mean that. What she says in the book, I'm going to find a quote for next lesson and show you.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to explain. It's a groups. It's a group. So don't have all the different things, all the different food groups. Then don't try to have all the different food groups in one meal sitting.
Yeah.
So like your fruit salad and your vegetable salad, and you know, everybody at the same time, because they're looking at you. You know, and we know, because we say whatever you want to eat it at mealtime, because the mango is looking at me, you know, at the wrong time of the day. I'm not gonna eat it. I'm gonna wait to have my fruits in the morning on my empty stomach.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's another thing. Cutting out the cereal for breakfast in the morning. So like you can have oats, yeah, and fruits if you don't want fruit, because I'm not a fruity person, to be honest with you. I'm more of a porridge. So caramel not good to have then cornmeal.
Oh God, I feel so sorry for you. You know, I just want to give you a little hug.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Because you grow up with bad habits, so you grow up with habits, and like you can see, I've got family, so I'm trying to introduce new meals to them. But because I want cereal, they because the craving is already there, and they, you know, the way they eat already.
Give them the healthier cereal. Don't give them those fluffy little things like cornflakes. So the oats is fine. Your quinoa, mix your quinoa with oats and make porridge. Mix your amaranth. You know, make healthier stuff. Don't only make porridges though, because you know we can't sustain our stomach on a liquid food diet. Otherwise, later on in life, we're gonna develop a feeble stomach. So make some cookies. Make some quinoa crackers, some oatmeal cookies, things like these, some drier stuff that they can eat the grains with. And you need to make them fruits in some delicious stuff, and they will like it. Make some fruit compote and put it over their fruits. Make some some sweet cream sauce, and present it nicely. Don't just give them a bowl of mangoes like what I've got here, because that may not look that attractive.
No, I like presentation. So I just wanted to give them something bulky. And I think another question was it seasonal, because now we're coming into summer, then the fruits are more appealing to them. But in the winter, I just found that I gave them something that's more like porridgey, you know. And
because it is cold as well. You've got to take into consideration the climate that you're living in. It is cold, and they want something warm that will warm the body up, and that will keep them warm throughout the day and fuller as well. So you can start them with some fruits. Yeah. And what you can make, what there is also known as there's like a fruit porridge. So what you do, you warm your plant-based milk, not boil it, but you warm it. And then you use that to blend the fruits, and you blend it with your nuts and your seeds, and you make it thick. So they have to actually eat it with a spoon, or you have to take your time to chew it. But once you do it with a warm milk, it's not so cold.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And you make your cookies. Make your oatmeal banana cookies with your dates and your seeds and nuts in them. And they have their fruit porridge. And then afterwards you treat them with some cookies, and you make some cashew cream or some coconut sweet cream.
Oh,
Coconut.
okay.
Yeah.
You're making me hungry now.
I'm making myself hungry. You're talking. Right. So, it's about because what will happen is when you have family, especially children, they will say, Mom, this is not working. Right? They will stop you in your tracks. You've got to be creative now, and you've got to step outside of your little box, and you've got to think how to feed them hungry teenagers nutrient-dense food. So, for example, when we did that, and I used to do myself a favor. Sometimes I used to go for a Sunday brunch. And I would eat my, what you call it now that we normally have in England for Sunday brunch. I have my vegan sausages on a Sunday. I have my baked beans. I have my mushroom. I have my grilled tomato. And what else was it? That hash brown thing. I'm telling you, my body didn't even like it, but but I used to just go for my Sunday brunch. So you can you're having a nice fruit all week, and they're teenagers, and maybe even your husband. One day a week, you go and you prepare a nice healthy breakfast. Just let everybody sit down and start with their fruits first to coat the lining of the stomach, and then you have your nice Sunday brunch breakfast kind of thing.
Okay.
Make pancakes. So use your vegetable, like your cassava flour or your yam flour, and make pancakes with them. And you drizzle that with your honey, and wrap that in some fruits, some banana and some nuts chopped up inside of that. And you make your nut butter, your peanut butter, and you put some of that in it as well. And you make your own jam, and you have some of that, and you roll it up, and they eat that. And you make a nice tropical Japanese style fruit cakes. You know the one I did, I think I've done it on a couple of what I call showstopper dessert, where you have all these fruits immersed in the agar, and when it sets, it's completely clear, and you see this. Float.
Yeah.
You make them something like that, and you throw some nuts in it as well, and some seeds in it. Yes, and they will like that because it looks attractive. It's very appealing, and the agar is going to help to keep them full for longer as well. And plus, it is their seaweed that they need to also get inside their diet. And you throw the seeds and nuts in, or you use your seeds and nuts in some cookies. After that, they have that cake and they get some cookies.
Fantastic.
Yeah, or you whip up some nice cream from your cashew or your sunflower seed and spread on top of that cake. So, it's endless, but we've got to put on our creative hat to make meal times interesting. Meal times must be, I've got to go home now because mom is cooking. It's supposed to be desirable. It's supposed to be one that you've got to tell yourself, oh Lord, there's just so much gorgeous food here, but I know I've got to restrain myself, and don't eat everything that I see, but, and don't overeat it. But it must be so attractive that everybody wants to come to the table. The children must be popping out their cameras and taking food and putting on their status. And they must be telling their friends that it tastes good. So we've got to, we sometimes we have to ask the Lord as well to grant us wisdom. Not sometimes, but all the time. right?
Yeah.
All the time. We've got to ask the Lord to grant us wisdom, and that's how He will improve our skills. So, Shirley, you see how you've got that burning desire?
Yeah.
The Lord is going to pour out His blessings on you so much. You go in that laboratory and you say, Lord, I'm here today. Give me a recipe, please, to feed these hungry teenagers. I'm telling you, He will give you one, right? He will give you one, and they're going to tell you that the food is good. They're going to like, Mom, this is good.
Oh, yeah, they love when I go on the course. They love it. They love it. They love it.
Good.
Yeah. Because I think that the thing is with the courses, the food is tasty, it's nutritional. Remember I said already, it's like lifestyle change. So it's the taste and the nutrition. And the presentation, your food always look good. And I think that's very pleasing for the children, you know.
Yes, exactly.
They don't miss meat. Definitely don't miss the meat when I do the meals and present it a particular way, and it looks lovely and it tastes fantastic. So yeah, it's just to maintain it and to complete the course really, and you know, like I said, take it a step further. People eat this as normal, you know. This is your standard cooking when you come here. That's what you're going to get, a nice vegan, deliciously tasting and really nice to look at as well. That's so important as well.
Yes, so important, because we eat firstly with our eyes. Right. So as I was saying about the tin beans as well, I still, every once in a while, I will still purchase a tin bean, and it is for emergency, for backup. But no, I always have beans soaking in the fridge. Nowadays, I sometimes have to cook them and then throw them in the freezer. But whenever I go to the supermarket, I always like to pick at least one tin of a bean up, just for emergency backup. Once upon a time, I had lots of tin beans in there. But my dear, I don't know when they finish. But it's not tin stuff you don't want to subsist on.
Also, it costs more money than if you buy a whole bag of kidney beans, or a bag of beans is a way much cheaper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's more nutritious, because I find when I buy like a tin of, let's say, red kidney beans, I don't get any color out of that when I'm cooking my rice and peas with that. It doesn't have any color because it doesn't have enough of the liquid in there. So, and you're getting the additional stuff. I mean, mind you, some may not have much salt added in them, but in most cases, there's a lot of salt and a lot of sugar in tin stuff. And that's why if you want to reverse your high blood pressure or high blood sugar, you need to avoid processed foods, because they have a high content of sugar, high content of salt, and MSG. And those three things there will keep the blood pressure and the blood sugar up there.
We also have to be careful not to use too many tins or cans because of the preservatives.
Yes.
Preservatives are dangerous for our bodies. Yeah,
and
so I don't use the if I use a can of something, I wash it. I boil my hot water and wash it off. And sometimes I'll just leave it soaking there, but then you have to make sure your dish comes out tasty by adding a lot of your seasonings yourself.
Yes.
You know, the preservatives are dangerous.
They are. And then the can itself has a coating on the inside.
That's right.
Which is also not the best. So as I said, you have one tin maybe in your cupboard, 2 tins, especially when you have children, for emergency purposes. But get into the habit of practicing. Soak the beans, boil them, and just put them in containers or plastic bags, label them, put them in the freezer. They're in the freezer, they ain't going to spoil. So you have them at hand.
You can still pressure it then. You can still pressure cook it, isn't it then? If you don't want it to take long to boil, you can pressure cook it and do the same.
You can still pressure cook it, and you can put it in your, what you call it now, your crock pot, your slow cooker.
Yeah.
As well. Yes. The thing, because I one thing though, what was I gonna say? Pressure cook. It's important that you try and get one of the pressure cooks that is stainless steel.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
some on Amazon for quite cheap actually. I got one for, I think it was 20 quid. For a nice, I think it's 2 litre, 2.5 litre pressure cooker stainless steel.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why. Yeah, because it's so.
I need to get myself one. I gave away my pressure cooker before I left England, and now I need one.
Okay. I'm trying to get something to you anyway, so we'll see what we can do for you.
All right, that would be good. That would be good. All right, so just to quickly, let me just quickly go finish this one. Just to quickly go through this. So this is your handout that you will be getting. So point A, or section A, is talking about nutrition and health principles. Lemon helps with alkalinizing the body. So whenever you're having your salads, squeeze a lime or a lemon over your salad leaves. That helps the body to absorb the nutrients out of the salad leaves easier. It helps, right? And it also helps to improve the flavor and the color. Always have a hearty breakfast, an abundance of fruits and nuts and your plant-based milk, right? And the best is, if you can get it organic, get it organic. If you can't get it organic, please still eat. Just give it a good wash and bless it and eat it. Don't eat a pauper's diet because you're looking for organic. Because I know you go in them supermarkets, sometimes organic shelves are empty. They don't look like anybody's stock anything or grow anything organic this week, right? So eat. 2 meals are better than 3, but if you need to have a third meal, let that third meal be a light meal and have it way before bedtime. Digestion must be complete before you go to bed. Otherwise, you're gonna think that the car running you down, or somebody beating you up, are you fighting with somebody, are you falling off a tall building? When
Lavinia,
Yes.
if you're a night worker, your eating pattern, because I'm thinking, if you have your 3 meals a day, yeah, or 2 meals a day, if you're a night worker and a nurse, you work nights, then your schedule of eating is different. So
your schedule is messed up. Your system is messed up, and statistics shows that night workers, nurses are getting the most cancers.
Oh Lord.
So, boy, I when I did that research and I discovered that, I was so broken, because I'm thinking these are such selfless people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've got to
still schedule to eat in the day and not in the night. If you're a night worker, then yeah, still schedule your eating.
I don't even know how to advise a night worker, because all I can say is the body's designed to be sleeping at night.
Right.
So we all supposed to be sleeping at night, not at work. So I really don't know much how to advise a night worker more than, while you're at it, start planning to start your own business that is operated during the day.
Okay.
And if you've got to be a night worker, just try, and you more than anyone else really need to stick to the program of 2 meals per day and eating as much fruits and as much salads as you can possibly get in. Take it easy on the dead food. And what I call the dead food is, once fire hits it, I call it dead. Because once it is cooked, you start losing nutrient. Mind you, there are a few foods that you get added nutrient when it is cooked, like your tomato. When it is cooked and it has olive oil on it, or oil, the lycopene increases. Your carrot as well, you get added nutrients. So there's a couple of food increases in nutrient when it is cooked, but they also lose their vitamin C and other water-soluble vitamins are destroyed when they're cooked. So you may gain some, but you lose some. So there we go. Strike a balance. Strike a balance. That's why I didn't say 100% raw food. About 60-70% raw. You need to have some cooked. All right. Give the stomach 5 to 6 hours break between meals. Nothing between meals except your water. If you feel hungry, drink water. That feeling of faintness that you get when you just start, if you just push yourself, you will get across that bridge and you will see that you're fine. You won't die. All of us went through it. And even Ellen White says, drink water and you will get over it. Others have gotten over it. You can do it too. I know because I did it. I know because Charlene did it. We've all done it, so you can do it too. Chew your food thoroughly, right? So don't cut and swallow. My father used to always say to us, chew the food and stop cut and swallow, right? So I'm saying the same thing to you now, but much nicer. Don't cut and swallow. Chew your food thoroughly. I'm not going to say to you, chew your food 32 times or 42 times or whatever. What I'm going to say is chew the food thoroughly. Why? Digestion begins in the mouth. And the more you chew it, it mixes with the saliva and it starts breaking down from in the mouth. So you get better results. It will make you, it will actually keep you for longer as well. And you will find that you eat less when you chew your food properly. After each meal, go for a 10 minutes walk, preferably in the fresh air. But if you can't get it in the fresh air, make sure you don't sit down around the table, lounging and chatting. But let everybody get up and start cleaning up while they chat. And just keep moving. Somebody sweeping, somebody washing up the plate, somebody cleaning off the stove. Get everybody going.
That's right.
Right. Never eat and lie down or never eat and lounge. Or, funny enough, don't eat and engage in hard study either. The brain is not ready for it when you've just eaten. Don't eat and go for a bath. And I did not say a shower, I said a bath. Right? Try and eat when it's avocado season. Enjoy your avocados. You don't necessarily eat one every single day, but you do get good fats from it. And you can, I don't know, I guess you can store your avocados in the freezer. I've never frozen my avocados before, so I don't know if they will survive in the freezer. But
yeah,
eat them when
Tesco
they're-
used to sell them. Tesco used to sell avocado half, which was well worth it because you can get a bag for $3.50. They don't do it anymore, but they were frozen. Yeah.
Okay. All right, good.
Mm.
Eat a raw onion for good gut bacteria, especially after you have done a flush, a cleanse. I as I have said, I don't take probiotics. I eat my raw onion every day. Well, not now, but used to. I eat a raw onion every day, and that builds up my good bacteria. With my raw salad and my seeds and my nuts, my diet built back my good bacteria and fed them. It was my probiotic as well as my prebiotic, right? Don't eat and drink at the same meal. Drink half an hour before or at least an hour to 2 hours after. And if you're gonna drink an hour after, it should be just a very small amount, all right? List of have your lots of vegetables. So remember some anti-inflammatory vegetables that helps the body to feel rich in antioxidants and help the body to fight diseases. You're talking about your broccoli, your beets, your pak chow, your cauliflower, your celery, your ginger, your turmeric, your cayenne, your garlic, your green juices, your lemon or your lime, your apples, and water. It depends on your diet and your body weight. So if you're on a standard American diet, so you're eating your McDonald's, your KFC, and like I used to, then every 25 kilo you weigh, drink at least a liter of water. Enjoy a glass per hour to keep the body nicely hydrated, and that also helps to expel toxins from the organs. It also helps to boost your energy and helps to prevent the cravings. Now, there maybe, I don't know, Sonia, are you here still? Can somebody say the other theory on how much water you should drink per day? Like half your body weight divided by something? Yeah?
Half your body weight divided by ounces.
Okay. All right. So there's another one. All right. Exercise.
But the best thing with water is drink until your urine is clear.
What we eat and drink.
Because sometimes if you are on medication, your urine could be very
Colorful
Colorful. I thought someone
and
else.
smelly.
Right. So you drink until your urine is clear.
Okay, and vitamin B's as well will make your color your urine very bright orange. So don't be frightened. And if you eat a lot of beetroot, you may find it as well red. So don't scare yourself thinking that you're having some internal bleeding. Exercise. When you're exercising, listen to your body. So you're doing 30 to 45 minutes per day, but don't overdo it, right? If you listen to your body when you're exercising, we don't want you to hurt yourself, but we must exercise. Sleeping, resting. Oftentimes, 11:30 and we're just crawling into bed. 10 o'clock, we're just crawling into bed. All right, so the body has different functions that it does at different time, and the liver starts detoxification process at 9:30. You may want to be in bed to help that out. So you go 10 o'clock, you could have helped your liver by going to bed half an hour or even 45 minutes earlier. You jump in your bed, relax, so by 9:30 you can fall asleep, helping the liver in the process of detoxifying the rest of the body. All right, so make sure, sorry, go ahead, Charlene. Okay, right. So get 7 to 8 hours sleep per night. Your sleep should be undisturbed. So the mobile phone, put them away from at least an hour before bedtime so your body can wind down, right? The blue light tricks our brains to thinking that it is daytime, and it will wake you up. So you wake up in the night, maybe you wake up to go to the toilet or something like that. Don't touch the phone. Stay away from the blue lights because it's then going to trick your brain and it's going to disrupt your sleep, and your body's going to start producing serotonin instead of melatonin. All right, let me, so the second page, again, refresher and fresh air. By the way, we spoke about going out to do your exercise, 45 minutes before sunrise, which is good. But just to let you know, indoors, how you can purify your indoor air is you've got a few plants that NASA has recommended, a few indoor plants that can help to purify your air. So you've got what we call out here in Jamaica, creeper. Can't remember the scientific name. I don't have that in front of me. Let me see if it's on this. No, I don't have the names, but there are a few indoor plants. You can just Google NASA plants for purifying the air. So you've got a creeper. Anybody else want to help me out that may know some of these indoor plants? You've got a fern. You've got it. What is philandra? Philandra. I can share. Somebody say something?
Peace lily.
Peace lily, exactly. Spider lily as well.
You have the spider plant.
Right, the spider plant, right? The peace lily.
There's aloe.
Aloe, exactly. Aloe is one, yes. The palm is the palm one. I don't remember about palm, but I could Google it and send it in the group for us. So you can put some of these plants in your house. The other thing that helps to purify your air is lemon. Slices of lemon around, slice of lemon or lime around your house helps to purify the air as well. In addition, onion. Slice of onion helps to pull toxins out of the air. So a few things there that you can use to help to purify your air. In addition to fresh air, you want to make sure that you're breathing properly. So one thing before we finish, can we do a quick little breathing exercise? You want to make sure that you're doing deep diaphragmatic breathing and not shallow breathing, right? You want to inhale. When you inhale, that's when you take air in through your nose. You want to make sure that your belly is extended. So consider it filling up a balloon. When you inhale, you're putting air inside the balloon. So your belly is a balloon. So when you inhale, you're filling that balloon with air. And when you exhale, you're letting all the air out of that balloon, all the old stale air. So you're gonna squeeze it in. Your belly button should go right back to your back. Squeeze it in and let out all that old stale air. And then you take a nice deep breath in again and fill up that balloon, and then you empty it out again. So you want to practice your breathing. Make sure you're breathing properly. If you have something like high blood pressure or you're highly stressed, you're having a lot of pain all over your body, just check it out. You're breathing incorrectly. So in a second, we're going to test ourselves with the breathing, but let me just run through temperance and trust in God. These are two other points that we need to keep in mind in terms of health principles. So, by the way, temperance doesn't mean a moderate amount of good and a moderate amount of bad, which is what I was taught. It actually means total abstinence from what is bad and moderation in what is good. All right. And it is temperance in all things. It is temperance in eating. It is temperance in sleeping. It is temperance in sex. It is temperance in exercise. You know, so exercise is good. Don't overdo it. Otherwise, your muscles will cry and your body will go into adrenal fatigue if you overdo it. Don't overeat. Otherwise, you will get fat, even if it is overeating of what is good. Right? Put your trust in God. Right? Remember, He is the great physician for a reason. That's because He doesn't want to see me, you. He doesn't want to see any of us suffer or in pain. Observe His life. Study the life of Christ and meditate on it. Contemplate it. What was Christ's life like? Live a day with Him. He spent most of His day healing the sick. Why? There was a great burden on His heart for salvation. And He realized that you can't preach to a sick man. You can't tell a sick man about God. All he wants to hear about is pain-free. Heal me. So He healed the people. He had compassion on them and He healed them of their diseases. And then He said to them, go and sin no more. So put your trust in the great physician because He's got your best interest at heart. All right. He doesn't want to see you sick. So He would never give you something that is going to make you sick. He would never give you poison to put in your body. He said the herbs are for the healing of the nation. He's got the laws of health to help us to prevent sicknesses and keep it at bay. So put your trust in Him. Have an attitude of gratitude. So in all things, give thanks, because if you ever see the amount of darts Satan attempts to, or Satan fire at you daily, and the amount that the angels have protected you from, believe you me, you would give thanks for anything that you get. So have an attitude of gratitude, because you only know what is happening now. You don't know what the future holds. You don't know what the Lord is protecting you from, or what He's really doing for you. So just say, thank you, Lord. Right? Manage your stress levels. Make a list of the things that are stressing you. Pray over them, fast over them, like Hezekiah, present them to the Lord. Right? At work, delegate. You can't manage everything. Don't try to do everything yourself. All right, great. So Jennifer has sent it in the group. Delegate to others, right? What you can fix, fix it. What you can't fix, let somebody else fix it. What nobody can fix, trust me, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Don't stress over it if it doesn't get done. Life will carry on. By the way, when you can't fix, give it to the Lord. Let Him fix it. And stress no more over it. All right. Trust the Lord. He will resolve it in His own time and way. So, 2 important points. Avoid heavy metals. That's aluminum pots and aluminum perfumes, your roll-ons, your deodorants, your body cream, your hair products. the dyes we put in our hair, etc., with the aluminum in them. Avoid those, right? That cause early Alzheimer's and dementia, as well as a problematic factor behind many diseases. Mercury, we get that as well from the old teeth filling. We get that from the fish. So that's why we want to step away from the editing with eyes, our mother, and we want to be, check out the things that we're eating. Cadmium, that is one thing that is used in some of the pots that we use, another heavy metal that is problematic as well. Arsenic, sometimes we get this from vegetables, like the roots may pick it up, or the spray when they spray the food. So wash them in warm lemon water or warm lime water to help to remove the toxins and the heavy metals and stuff like that. Lead, again, this can be in our surroundings. Make sure that your environment is as good, in terms of the old vehicle and the old this and the old that in the yards. Get rid of them, the old iron all over the place. Use only stainless steel pots to cook your food. And as I said, check your roll-on and your personal care products as well as your environment. And this says, and I must tell you, I did this here that you're looking at. I did this 2018, and this is what I have in it. Ask what are the ingredients in your vaccination and certain allopathic medications, as some do have aluminum, mercury, and other heavy metals. All right. Do not use any stock powder in your foods. So the Maggi stock powder, the season up, the bouillon, don't use those in your foods. On this course, we're going to teach you how to make your own stock powder, your own green seasoning, your own seasoning, powdered seasoning from your leftover scraps that you have been throwing away in the bins for years. All right, another one is eat foods in their simplest form as much as possible. Use only healthy salts. For example, your pink Himalayan salt, your Celtic salt, your black Indian salt, sea salt. Have a variety of salts, by the way, in your house. Don't just have one type. Have a variety, because in terms of flavor, when it comes to cooking, you need to have a variety of salt. And in terms of nutrition, have a variety of salt. No fried foods. All right. Or if you have to fry something or cook anything with oil, make sure that you're using an oil with high smoke temperature and a good quality oil. So the rice bran oil, things like your coconut oil has a high smoke temperature, and sesame seed oil. Avoid chemicals. Wear gloves if you have to use your chemicals, your mask as well if you need to. Avoid secondhand smoking as well as the dust. Use a dust mask when you're cleaning. No caffeine. So your tea, your green tea, your coffee, your hot chocolate, your cocoa, your dark chocolate, your chocolate bars. No sugars or sweeteners. So in terms of sugar, we're talking about the crystallized stuff. Sweeteners, those things that they make for diabetics, that one, you're better off having sugar than sweetener. No refined starch. So things like your bagels, your croissants, your donuts, learn how to make them from your whole wheat flour or your gluten-free flour. So this now that says no white potato, you can ignore number 10, right? No, well, not all of it. No white potato. Ignore no white rice. Sorry, no, ignore no white potato. Number 10. So when you get this handout, this was not meant to be a handout, all right? But you're getting it. I'm not able to edit this, but maybe one of my colleagues can edit this for me. I'm not able to edit it at the moment because my laptop is broken. But maybe one can edit it if I can find the Word version, right? So you can have your white potatoes, but this is if you're diabetic. If you're diabetic, you want to avoid the white potatoes. I eat my white potatoes now. I used to be diabetic. I'm over that. But I don't go eating all these heavy starchy stuff every day anyway. And you need to have a variety. And this is when you're just put on the program. I give my clients this that I'm talking to you from. Processed food, avoid processed food as much as possible. Avoid radiation. So use a speakerphone or a hands-free. Do not charge your mobile phone in your room because you get a lot of radiation from it. Boy, oh boy. And so now we're coming back to the breathing exercise, and I'm now finished with sharing my screen. You can ask questions, but I'd love to do the breathing exercise. I'd love us to try the breathing before we close off. So let me make myself. You can see who is going to do this exercise with me. Who wants to practice their breathing? Okay, I'll show you anyway. I don't know if anybody's looking, but at least if you read through the camera, you'll see. So put your one hand on your chest and one on your belly. All right. So when you inhale, this is when you would take air in, right? Inhale, you take air in. You go take it through your nose, and this must go out. So I want you to watch this. My hand is going out when I fill my lungs with air, when I fill my diaphragm with air, my abdomen with air. So inhale, exhale.
It disappeared.
I've disappeared?
Oh, you're back.
Okay,
Yes,
all right.
you're
So
back now. Mm-hmm.
Let me spotlight myself then. Otherwise, if I'm not talking, I will disappear. All right, so I'm on your screen now. So you can try this behind your cameras, right? Try, put your hand, one on your chest, one on your belly. When you inhale, this hand must not move. Look. So my hand on my chest does not move. My hand on my belly moves. So this is my belly button right here, right? So you see where it's moving? When you inhale, the hand goes out, the belly goes out because you fill that balloon with air. And when you exhale, you let it out. So you empty it, but the chest never moves. When you try this, if your chest is moving, you are breathing incorrectly. Possibilities are you have high blood pressure. Possibilities are you are very stressed. Possibilities are the pain that you're feeling in your body can go away easily without painkiller. You will need to correct the breathing. I want to say thank you very much for listening to this session. And by the way, always sit upright, stand upright. That helps your breathing. Put your chin on your chest and roll the shoulders back and bring the head up. Keep your posture. That helps your breathing. And obviously it helps. The whole body feels better when you stand in good posture. At least my body feels better when I do. Thank you very much, lovely, lovely people. Any questions for me from anyone else? And then you can ask us questions about the lesson on Sunday.
For the mozzarella cheese, we need all of those ingredients listed under the mozzarella.
Let me just check what is written on it, and then I'll tell you. So let's get in the classroom. So for the mozzarella cheese, all right, mozzarella cheese balls. Mozzarella cheese, you said, right? Just like mozzarella, you need a plant-based milk or full-fat coconut cream, right? So you can make your own coconut milk from some coconut, either the dry coconut or the jelly coconut. You need agar powder. You need tapioca starch. You can leave that out if you wish. You need paprika. You can do just one. If you don't have the paprika, you can leave that out. You need some onion powder or some garlic powder. You don't have the onion powder or garlic powder, use a fresh onion and a fresh garlic. Turmeric or carrot or pumpkin or tomatoes. So this is when you want to make the one that looks just like, what do you call it? That cheddar tasty cheese, Jamaican tasty cheese or red Leicester cheese for the UK. You need to have something. So one of these gives it a color, the turmeric or carrot or pumpkin or tomatoes, or you can have all of them if you wish. Yeah, so that is it for the mozzarella cheese, just that section. Did you get that?
Yes, thanks.
Can't find agar powder
Where are you?
in Quebec, Canada.
Ah, okay, can I help you? You have chickpea flour?
No, I can try to see if I can get that.
Yeah, if you can get that, we can, but you can get the agar at Walmart, but you have to do it on the Walmart online. If you order that tonight, you should, anybody who have access to Walmart online, order the agar powder on Walmart. Or if it's the flakes that you see, but they have it. All right. But there's, if you don't have there's another cheese that we can do without the agar, but it would be with chickpea powder, chickpea flour.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyone else? So the other ones, right? So let me just go down on the list. Let me go through the list so you can understand. We're going to do dairy-free butter. So for the butter, you will need a plant-based milk. You can have soy milk or coconut milk or coconut cream, almond, sunflower, whatever plant-based milk you have. You just need a plant-based milk. You will need a couple of tablespoons of lecithin. If you don't have lecithin, then we have to go through a different process. Which
Can we use the granules?
You can use the granules, but just double check how much granules you use in comparison to liquid, because it's a liquid. The recipe that I'm giving will be with the liquid. The granules, I think 1 tablespoon of liquid is about 2 or 3 tablespoons of granules. Not 100% sure now, but something like that. You will need some coconut oil. Avocado oil and the olive oil is optional. You don't need them, but coconut oil you need. Lime or lemon juice. That's good to have a little sharpness. So you can give the cheese that little tang. And some salt. It doesn't have to be pink salt. It can just be sea salt. Annatto oil or annatto, that's optional. It's just to help to, if you want a little brighter color. But the lecithin gives it the color. And the yeast flakes, if you use yeast flakes in it, it also gives it the color. You don't have to use the yeast flakes. That's also optional, but it gives it a nicer, more flavor.
And
but
natto I can't find. But could you use saffron? If we don't have a natto, I can't find it. Could we use saffron?
You can use saffron. Yeah, you can use saffron. You don't even need to use any of them. The lecithin gives it a buttery flavor, and it also helps to give it a buttery color as well. And if you use yeast flakes, that also helps to bring up the color.
Okay.
Right, yeah. So that's why I put optional, because it's just additional, especially if you probably want to commercialize it. But later on, as you develop your recipes, if you want to commercialize it, the saffron or the annatto helps to give it the color, all right? A natural, beautiful color to the butter. So that's what we're going to use to make our dairy-free butter. That butter you can use to bake your cakes. It melts. You will never believe it's not butter, all right? Now, garlic butter. You want some, to the same mix. So when you make this butter mix, we're going to just split it in 2. And to the garlic butter, we're going to add, you can add some onion powder, some garlic powder, or you can use the fresh ones, some dried herbs, some parsley, some oregano, basil, not thyme unless it's fresh thyme leaf, but you can leave the thyme off.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I
the
have fresh
cheese.
basil. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, those are dried though, dried herbs.
Oh, you only want dried? Okay.
I mean, for the butter, you could use a little fresh basil anyway. Ooh, I use your butter. We just want you can use a little fresh basil, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
All right, just like mozzarella or just like cheddar, as I said, it's a one ingredient. So you make it one pot, and then we split it in two, and then you add the color, which would be this turmeric bit, the turmeric or carrot or pumpkin. You know, you then add that color, and you add you then add that color to get the cheddar-like color. Cheddar? Yeah. And then Parmesan cheese, you need to have a nice little shaker container if you have one. We're gonna toast these nuts first, nuts and seeds. We toast them and then we ground them basically, and store them. And we'll tell you what else you put in them.
Toast and grind.
Huh?
Then you
We're
want
gonna toast and grind. Yeah, the recipe is basically toast and grind, but you want to grind it to a certain consistency. So don't grind it before class. Wait for us, but toast them definitely before class.
Sorry. I'm just asking if we should wash them first, because sometimes should we wash
You
them and dry them?
You can. You wash them and drain them, and then you put them in the oven to toast. You don't need to dry them. The oven will do that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Shortening, vegan shortening. So nobody is able to get the food grade shea butter at the moment. Don't worry about it, right? What it is once you learn how to make the butter, you're set. You're good to go. You want to just learn how to make a good butter. It will do your pastries. It will do just about everything. What I find is that when you add 2 tablespoons or so of shea butter to the normal butter that you will make, it turns it up a notch. So that's all it will be. And you will find shea butter eventually. I did send a link. And if you find it in the future and it says if it's pure and organic, then you can use it.
Mm-hmm.
Mozzarella cheese balls, that's optional. You don't have to even worry about that. If you want to go, it's really nice it's a lot of cheese in one day. You don't have to learn this one as yet. You can learn this one later. And we can supply you the recipe. And once we supply the recipe and you've learned how to make the cheeses, this is going to be ABC. Cream cheese. I think Laura was going to make a tofu cream cheese, but she didn't submit the recipe for the tofu cream cheese that she's going to do. But what we have here is a cashew cream cheese or the soy milk cream cheese. And you need a lime or a lemon. So you can just grab whatever ingredients you can find, you find. What you can't find, trust me, we'll find something in your cupboard. What am I gonna make? Some tomato and basil salad to show you how you can use up some of your cheese. And have some of your bread, have some bread. Show you how to make a nice, must have been crostini. I was gonna teach you there. All right, I will see you Sunday morning, bright and early. And it's past my bedtime, so I love you, but we've got to part companies.
Yeah, it's 9:40 here in Quebec, Canada, so it's past mine too.
Yes. All right, so
okay.
I hope you found this a good lesson, and I hope you have learned a lot tonight. And I will share that handout in the group, but I'm going to see if I can get one of my colleagues to edit it, because that is something prepared for my clients who would have gone on a 7-day detox with me. So that information is a sort of little guide for them, which you can have potatoes, all right? But white rice. All right.
Okay. So
Yeah.
everyone have a good night or good morning wherever you are, and God bless you. Happy Sabbath in advance, and we'll see
Amen.
you on Sunday, God's willing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. So I think we might be doing as well. Myself and Sister Joanne and maybe a couple of others will be doing I don't know if it's an all night or a half night prayer session Friday night. You know, we just want to pray for each
Yes, I
other.
did see that. Yes.
Yes. Pray for the people of the world. And we just want to start getting back in a habit of praying more and be more earnest and steadfast in prayer. So if anybody wants to join us, we'll probably do from 8 o'clock to 4 a.m. because I have to go to church Sabbath morning. So 8 p.m. to maybe 4 a.m. We just want to pray and share testimony, encourage and strengthen each other because we need to, you know, Christ sacrificed by going. He did all night prayers sometime, and we see where his disciples sometimes couldn't even keep up with him, but he kept going. And we see he said, "Pray for strength to overcome temptation." And then we saw that they weren't able to manage the prayer. And then when Christ was taken in to be crucified, we saw where all of them run leaving, and Peter cussed all bad word. So we can see things are winding up and wrapping up around us, and we don't want to fall. You know, we need to make some sacrifices sometimes. So it's gonna be a sacrifice because I love sleep. Right, but I think once a month we can do a half night. Just pray with each other, pray for each other, pray for our children because Satan have them under a spell out there. And we pray for the people of the world because there are many people out there who they are talking or they are walking where we are supposed to be walking, but they just don't even know the Lord as yet. And if they should be exposed to the love of the Lord, they would be like on fire for Jesus Christ. We don't know where all of these people are, but we need to pray and ask the Lord to bring them into light and knowledge and understanding of his truth and undo the hardness of their heart and give them feet swift to obedience. So when they hear the truth, they may melt for him like butter against sun and draw them unto him. So we pray for people, pray for our children, pray for ourselves and each other.
Yes, indeed.
8 o'clock to about 4 a.m. so we can get some sleep for church. But it's a sacrifice, but he's worth it.
Yes, he will bless.
Amen.
Amen.
All right, thank you. Can somebody pray for us, please, to close?
Heavenly Father, we want to give you praise and thanks tonight. We want to say thank you, Lord, for being with us this evening and for being with us for the day. Most of us maybe had to work, and you've given us the strength. So, Father, as we go to sleep now, for those of us who are going to sleep, we pray that you'll give us a good night's sleep and wake us up again for the morrow. And we'll give you the praise and the thanks. Bless each home represented. Thank you, Father, in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Thank you.